and welcome to episode 105. Today it is November 12th. As you can see, I am not home in my usual surroundings. Lars and I are in France. We are in a small village called Villefranche, which is just the bay next to Nice. So actually Nice is just on the other side of a hill. You can walk there, it's really not that far. The only thing is you have to walk way up and then walk way down. But anyway, I was supposed to be sending out another episode of the CamijoKnit podcast last Friday, but because we were here, I really just didn't have time. And then I thought that I didn't bring enough knitting here to even talk about and make a real episode. But then I just kind of went through all the stuff that I actually brought. And I said to Lars this morning, I think I actually have a lot of content to talk about to just do an episode here. So instead of waiting and having episode 105 back home, I thought, well, let's just take advantage of this beautiful scenery that I am in. This apartment is gorgeous, but also the little town that we live in is really pretty as well. So I was going to sit down and do an episode for you, but then Lars and I realized today is Wednesday and there is a market in town. So before I sit down and do a regular episode with you about all the knitting that I brought with me to Villefranche, I'm going to take you with me to town just for a little tour around the city, show you the market. I have never been to the market, so I'm really not sure what I'm promising, if it's going to be a big thing or not. I think it's just a small market. I think people will sell like local produce and whatever. So I just want to take you with me and show you a little bit about Villefranche and whatever happens. It's a beautiful sunny day today, so I think it's the best day to actually show you a little bit of the town. And then when we get back home, I will do a regular episode of whatever I'm working on because I really did bring a lot of knitting considering I'm only here for 2 weeks. But we'll talk all about that when we get back. I'll go get Lars and let's head out the door. So we are up here and we have to walk all the way down there. This place is just so beautiful. It's really quiet here today. And what happened now is that Lars found a church. It's funny because I studied theology for 3 years and I have a degree in religious studies. And I also have a degree in history. And Lars is the one who wants to do all the historic things, see all the churches, read all the signs, and I get bored like within 5 seconds. I just want to look at beautiful things and not read any long posters on anything. So you should really think it was the opposite. But we found the entrance to the church to be open today. I'll just take you with me inside. Hello friends, we are back from our little visit to the town, and I hope you liked the little footage from Villefranche, and if you didn't, I hope you just skipped that part. I just felt like sharing a little bit of where I am now that I'm finally somewhere remotely different from usual podcasting. Well, as I said, today it is Wednesday, it is November 12th, and Lars and I are in France. Why? It's not summer vacation or anything, but I think we most of all just needed some vacation time that was just purely relaxing, but also for me it's actually a bit of a workcation. I do both. It's a good way for me to get away from the dipods and focus on writing knitting patterns. I know that when I'm at home, I just want to dye yarn all the time, and it's just totally time consuming, and I love it very much. And I feel like taking a day off to stay at home and do a knitting pattern feels like I'm skipping school. It feels like I'm not working. I know that sounds crazy because it's both work, but I think that for me, removing myself physically and being in another environment and also being in a place that inspires me and calms me down is actually where I get the best ideas. And also actually this idea that I've been working on down here was an idea that we had even before I went to France. So it's not entirely true that the pattern that I'm working on here came to me while I was in France. But at the same time, I do get a lot of inspiration while I'm here, and everything is more calm. So it's a good way for me to have a little peace of mind in my head. And because we're here for 2 weeks and we don't have any plans, except that I work every morning, and then during the day we do whatever. We hike. We've been walking so much around this area because it's so beautiful. And then I can knit, come up with ideas, write down a lot of ideas for next year, and just kind of plan in advance and do a lot of that, a lot of admin work. So that's why we are here. It's both. But this is mostly about knitting. So I want to share with you what I brought with me, because I knew I was going to be here for 2 weeks. I also knew that I was going to be working on a new design, and I'm actually doing a vlog here. It's how I go from an idea to a finished pattern and product. So I have been filming that while I was here, and I'll show you some of that. But of course, the whole process of that will be another podcast. But I knew that for the new design, I wanted to use my chunky single, and I knew that I might, maybe, I wanted to add a strand of the Suri alpaca, which is my newer favorite go along yarn. Instead of my silk mohair, I really like to use the Suri alpaca. Anyway, so I brought this yarn because I knew I wanted to do a design in this, and I did make some progress. I'm not going to be talking too much about it because there will be a whole podcast out soon. But this is progress. It is in the colorway Crocus. So I did bring this. I didn't do a lot of knitting because when I kind of write a new knitting pattern, it's a lot of math, writing, testing, unraveling, casting on again, and trial and error a lot of times. Sometimes I do the whole math first and then I knit, and sometimes I knit, write, go back and forth. It varies a little bit. And this time I did a lot of back and forth. Anyway, I'm happy that in this apartment that we are in, there was this huge basket on the kitchen floor, empty. So I did put all of my knitting and projects in here, and I did bring a lot of stuff. I brought all my knitting needles and wires. I have that in this huge case from Magpie Fiber Arts. I have had that for many years. I don't know if they make them anymore. Yeah. So I have all my knitting needles because I didn't know exactly which way I wanted to go while we were here. So I just knew that I had to bring all my stuff. I have my book where I note down all my ideas and drawings of what I want to do. This is from So Shelter. This is for my shorter needles, so I brought all those as well. So I did actually bring all my knitting needles because I just wanted to be sure that I had everything. I actually finished a pair of socks while I was here. I think I finished the heel on the first sock on the plane, and then I finished the entire second sock while we were here. And these are for Esther. So they are, because she's such a slim beauty, I did 60 stitches instead of 64, and they have not been washed or blocked yet. So they will grow a little bit once I wash and block them, and I always put my sock blockers in there to make them look pretty. And I did a 2x2 rib at the top, and then I did a 3x1 rib at the cuff and on the top of the foot, and then of course just stuck in it at the bottom. So I'm happy that I finished those for her, and I will give them to her one of the Sundays leading up to Christmas. In Denmark, we do either the children will get a present every day leading up to Christmas, or the 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas, the 4 Sundays in Advent. And we have always done that. The older the kids get, they will at some point prefer to have just the 4 presents on Sunday because they'll be a little bit more expensive, maybe. At least that was the choice we gave them. Do you want 4 like bigger presents, or do you want something every day? So Esther chose for this year, she wants a Sunday present, and the socks are one of the presents. And so those were finished. And of course, once I finished a pair of socks, I immediately cast on a new pair. But these are extra fun because I wanted to do something for my sister-in-law. I have a very bright and fun sister-in-law, and she loves anything pink and glitter. So I'm knitting her a pair of very nice warm socks in one strand of my gold sock base. This is the colorway from February last year. So it's one of the mushrooms. Don't remember the name of this one. It's a Mykina mushroom. And I found, this is not my own silk mohair, I found a skein of silk mohair in my stash that just had the exact same purple color. So I'm knitting these 2 yarns together on a 3.25 millimeter needle, which is a US 3, and I have 48 stitches. I do have a pattern for a DK weight sock, and I call that 2 socks, and I'm just using that pattern to do this luxury socks for her. I recently did a pair of socks using a strand of mohair as well on the same size needles for myself, and I just love them because they are thicker, and just the silk mohair just makes them so fluffy and nice. So that's just like wearing like home shoes. I don't know what the English word for that is, but when you have like slippers for wearing on the inside. So yeah, but I just cast these on last night actually when I was binding off, or no, I was finishing off the heel for Esther's second sock. I immediately just casted this on. So this is my take with me project while we are here in France. I have had that sock with me everywhere we went. Every time we went out for a coffee, I would be knitting on my socks, and I don't see anyone else knitting here in France. So I feel like such a crazy person sitting there knitting, and people are looking at me going, oh, what is she doing? But I don't mind. I'd rather be the local fun face than not knit. So finished socks, socks in progress, design in progress. And then you never know if you're going to run out of projects. I just want to say before I forget that the socks that I did for Esther is in a colorway that I have called Dive the Day 0409. And I think I actually gave it a new name, but I forgot what it was. Something with flowers and fall. It's because I decided that this colorway was just too good to have to be like a Dive the Day color, that I actually gave it a proper name. And it will stay in the shop. I think this is just the perfect fall color. It has, I don't know if the lighting in here is too good, small speckles of all the autumn colors. So I'm really happy about this colorway. Okay, what else do we have? I also brought this project that I did not work on at all, but I probably will pretty soon. Once I got the vest kind of settled and when I'm knitting here at the apartment. This is Anna's bubble vest. It is the cutest baby vest. Not vest, it's a cardi. Here you go. I am knitting this in my Merino Cash DK weight yarn. And it's actually the same color as the vest. This is the crocus colorway. And I think it's just such a beautiful color. I love the combination of yellow, orange, and purple, violet, lilac colors. That mix is just so good. The speckles in here are very, very, very light. You can hardly see that they are even there, but they will pop out eventually. And I think for a baby knit, that's just perfect. So I brought that as well. So that's how many projects, that's 4 knitting projects. Then I brought some extra mega mohair because I have an idea of designing a new hat. I just finished a design. Maybe you have seen that in the 2 strands of mega mohair that Esther helped me design with big cables on the front. It's knit in 2 strands of mega mohair, and I thought that felt so good that I wanted to make a hat design in 2 strands of mega mohair. So that's why I brought mega mohair if at some point I feel like casting on another project and making a new design. So I have that with me as well. And that's all I have in here, except I have one more skein of the chunky singles. I do have 2 more skeins with me. I finished the first skein, so I think I'll be okay with the next 2. If not, we're going home on Monday. It's not too bad. I can finish it once we get home. What I did not bring is my ball winder. So at some point I'll have Lars be sitting with his arm, and we have to wind this manually. I have that with me as well. I know I have another project, another bowl of mega mohair, just in case I didn't know what colors to choose. I could go either way. So a lot of extra yarn. And my final project is another ball of yarn. Another ball of yarn. A crochet hook. This, oh, I didn't bring any of the finished ones. Maybe some of you recognize some of these colorways. This is my Hans Christian Andersen Advent from last year. And some of you might know that I started 2 projects using this yarn. First, I did cast on for the anthology throw. It's the second time I cast on for the anthology throw, and I did not finish because I just didn't think the yarn was the right yarn for that particular design. So I ripped it all out, started a blanket using a strand of Suri alpaca. Didn't like how that turned out, ripped that as well. And now I am doing these solid granny squares. Are they still called granny squares even when they're like solid like this? Anyway, I have a bunch of these at home, and my idea is to just use 1 strand of undyed white silk mohair and 1 strand of the minis do a solid granny square and eventually just sew all of them together into a blanket. And I must say, I just really I really enjoy to do these mindless squares of granny square crocheting. I think it's just so nice and mindless, and I just love to have a blanket going. I always have a pair of socks in a bag somewhere, and I always have at least one blanket that I'm working on. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is everything I brought with me to France to be working on. I'm probably not going to be working on the crochet projects. I am mainly going to be working on the vest, and I have just cast it on here in front and joined in the round when I ran out of I ran out of yarn. So I will need to cake up some yarn, and I will use Lars for that. And then I could get going on this vest. And if you're curious on how that whole process is taking place, from I get the idea to the first drawing and how I work on this particular pattern, make sure you check out that video that I am going to make, that I am making. So once you see this, it will not be out yet, but in a week or so that will be ready for you here on YouTube. So actually that's all I think I have to share with you from the apartment. I do have minis actually here from the February mushroom sock set that I might add to the socks. I haven't completely decided if they should just be solid color or if I'm going to add some stripes. We'll see about that. If I want to add this, I have to cake this as well. I didn't bring my winder, so I have to do that by hand. Apart from that, all the advents has been shipped out, and I am getting responses from all over the world that they are arriving, and that's just such a relief that everything has gone out and there's been no delays with tariffs or anything like that. So they are out. I still have advents available in the shop if you want to be sure to grab one so you're ready for Advent. I will be doing Vlogmas again this year. I had some people ask me, are you doing Vlogmas? Because I think having the Advent calendar and open the minis, when I open the minis and maybe knit the same thing that I am knitting, I know a lot of you enjoy that, and I enjoy that immensely as well. I think that my favorite part of this whole podcasting thing is actually Vlogmas. I think it's my favorite thing to do because I film every day and you respond every day, and it feels like the communication is not every 2 weeks, it's every day. So I just really love that interaction with you guys that we have during Christmas. It's just so special to me, and I love waking up every morning and preparing another episode for the Vlogmas. And I love that it's not the longest episodes, and I don't feel too stressed about what kind of content to bring, because I'm just taking you with me whatever is happening. So that's really great. Another thing I just want to say is that on December 6th, if any of you are in the area, Tina and I are having like a Christmas themed day at the workplace, at our showroom. So from 10 o'clock in the morning until 5 in the afternoon, the showroom will be open. We have invited some creative people. So there will be 4 other small booths there, and they will sell beautiful handmade things. And of course, Tina's stuff will be there and my stuff will be there. We'll have some Glück, which is like a molded sweet wine that people can have for free. And maybe we'll have some Christmas candies and stuff, and Christmas music, and a lot of Christmas decoration and Christmas light. And it'll just be a great day at the showroom. So if you are close by, you're very welcome to stop by, and we will make sure that there will be room for you to sit down and have a quiet minute and knit a little bit and just enjoy yourself. And hopefully a lot of Christmas spirit will be in the room for the day. And next week we have knit night, but all the tickets have sold out. And then we have another knit night in December on December 10th. It's a special day. The price for the tickets is a little bit higher than usual because we want to do extra fun stuff for you guys. So if you have not purchased your knit night ticket for Christmas for December 10th, be sure to do that. I think we have 8 tickets left, so it's not that many. And I also did the November sock set. I didn't bring that with me to show you, but I will share it on Instagram tonight. So once you see this, it will probably be out. If you're curious, you can see how the November sock set turned out. I love the razor clamp. I think it's just a beautiful shell, and it was such a fun thing to dye that sock set. And I have also decided the next month's inspiration for the sock set is another shell. That's all I'll say about that. But that'll be the last sock set. That will end 3 years of me doing sock sets. First, I did the birds. I love to do the birds. I think that was my favorite thing to do. First year I did the birds. Last year we did the mushrooms, and this year we did underwater creatures. So that's air, earth, and water. And next year we'll be doing something completely different. I needed to set myself free so I can get new ideas, and I did. And I'm very excited for 2026. Anyway, I think today it is the 12th. I think there will be one more normal podcast episode before Vlogmas starts. Yes, there will be. So in 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, I will be doing episode 106, and then Vlogmas will start on December 1st. Vlogmas will start and go throughout December. Actually, I will be recording the last episode around the 25th, and then I won't be back until January. Then it's Christmas vacation time. But yeah, I'm very excited. I'm so excited about Vlogmas. But I will pack all this stuff back down in my big basket here besides me. And Lars and I are going to go to Nice tonight. He spotted this very small Italian restaurant, and there are only like 4 tables, so you have to get there early to stand in line to get a table. And I know he's really excited about that. So we will do that tonight. And Nice is just a really beautiful city. It has both the modern area and like the old town, and the old town is just so incredibly beautiful. And it's in that part of town that the restaurant is tonight. So we'll go do that. But thank you so much for joining me here in France. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope that you enjoyed a little bit of the content that I did from the little town that we live in here. But I will see you once I get back to Denmark. And until then, take care, guys. See you later. Bye.